Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with Dawn of Destiny 2026. It is the springtime. It is baseball season. We are in Cincinnati, Ohio, at the Great American Ballpark, the traditional site of Dawn of Destiny, as we celebrate the coming of spring and opening day of the baseball season and Heartland Championship Wrestling with our annual Money in the Bank ladder match. Or I guess it's the golden ticket match if you read about it in the Filsinger Games Ringside Companion. But that is why we are here tonight. We've got 3 World Championship matches and the Money in the Bank ladder match for tonight's card. Grant Bachoco first in line, the solo promoter at the turnstile. Neil Lau, the number 1 fan of the Heartland, is right in behind. And Derek Bauman, 862, is joining us here tonight. So welcome one and all. And now we have got Dwayne Martz, TV Network. Hello, Dwayne, to you as well. All right, so we are going to get to the Money in the Bank ladder match shortly, but we're going to kick things off with our first title match of the night. As here we have the competitors in our main event, Kevin Steen and Buddy Rogers, who will be squaring off later in the show for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But starting things off, it is going to be the NWA World Tag Team Championship on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, your following contest is scheduled for one fall. With a 60-minute time limit, disqualification rules will be in effect for this one. This is a match for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Introducing first, the challengers. They are collectively known as the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. First, from Springfield, Tennessee, standing at 6'2", weighing 236 pounds, this is Tracy Smothers. And his tag team partner hails from Hendersonville, Tennessee, standing at 6'3", weighing 238 pounds. He is Wildfire Tommy Rich. So Tommy Rich, Tracy Smothers, longtime tag team, excellent throughout the Heartland. But they have a tall order indeed, as they are facing off against your reigning and defending NWA World Tag Team Champions for over a year now. Introducing, collectively known as the Midnight Express, they are accompanied to the ring by Jim Cornette, the Louisville Lip, as it were. Introducing first, out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, standing at 6'1", weighing 225 pounds, this is Sweet Stan Lane. And his tag team partner hails from Huntsville, Alabama, standing at an even 6 foot tall, weighing 233 pounds, this is Beautiful Bobby Eaton. So Bobby Eaton, Sweet Stan Lane, the Midnight Express, your longtime NWA World Tag Team Champions here in the Heartland. Should be an exciting title defense here tonight as they face off against the very popular duo of Tommy Rich and Tracy Smothers, a.k.a. the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. Jim Cornette watching closely at ringside. And remember, disqualification rules are in effect for this one. So we are now ready to get things started. As the two teams come together in the center of the ring, it will be Sweet Stan Lane to start things off for the Midnights against Wildfire Tommy Rich. And it will be Tommy Rich taking the opening initiative role as he comes out with a attempt at an atomic drop. That is an agility move. Sweet Stan Lane easily avoiding that maneuver and coming back with a move of his own. He's going to go with thought about a whip to the ropes, thought better of it, and instead a back suplex that takes Tommy Rich down to the canvas. Rich very quickly tagging in his partner Tracy Smothers. Smothers into the ring now against Stan Lane. We'll see if he can do any better. He attempts a drop kick. That's also an agility move. And Lane is at the top of his game tonight. He avoids that. And it is Lane coming back with a double thrust to the throat that stuns Tracy Smothers. Tracy is going to tag right back into Wildfire Tommy Rich. And Lane will tag into beautiful Bobby Eaton. As they match up in the center of the ring, it will be Eaton coming at Tommy Wildfire Rich with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Wildfire, and oh, he runs into an incredible neck-breaking clothesline delivered by Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton now with a chance to do some damage here. A slingshot backbreaker sends Rich slamming down hard onto the mat. Eaton still in control, follows that up, and he's got Sweet Stan Lane coming into the ring now, and they are going to execute the double goozle. That is a tag team move. That is a add one maneuver. And Tommy Wildfire Rich immediately rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 9, it is Tommy Rich making that helpless crawl back into the ring where Stan Lane is waiting with bad intentions. What is Stan Lane going to do? He is going to go right for the flapjack. Actually, we have got a mechanic on this. When teaming with Bobby Eaton, substitute dark side tag. And on a roll of 5, that is going to be the rocket launcher. This is a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 5 or lower on Tommy Rich. And on a roll of 6, Rich just able to get his foot over the bottom rope and interrupt the cover. And already the Midnights have taken control of this one using those double team maneuvers with great effectiveness against Tommy Rich. Jim Cornette cheering on his team at ringside. And now out of the ring we go again as Eaton pitches Tommy Rich out and down to the arena floor. And on the arena floor, it is going to be Eaton winning the brawl on the arena floor with a pile driver onto the ring steps. Tommy Rich's day did not get any better just at that moment. Eaton shoves Rich back into the ring and continues his assault with another slingshot backbreaker. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 4, and on a roll of 4, he may get him. Can Tracy Smothers make the save? No, indeed, he cannot. And just like that, the Midnight Express have successfully retained the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Very efficient match for Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton. Flawless victory, says the Mortal Kombat voiceover, as Tommy Rich tastes defeat at the hands of Bobby Eaton with that slingshot backbreaker. Tracy Smothers unable to make the save as Jim Cornette had him distracted at ringside. And your winners and still NWA World Tag Team Champions, the team of Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton, the Midnight Express. So Mama Cornette is happy, Jim Cornette is happy. The fans here in Cincinnati, not so much. But we've seen that story before. Who will be next to step to the Midnight Express and try and end that year-long title reign remains to be seen. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your Money in the Bank ladder match, the Golden Ticket ladder match, as the Olsen brothers have proclaimed it. I'm sure copyright infringement is a thing. As Frank Wainscott joins us. Hello, Frank. All right, so here you see the dice tray in the center of the screen. What I have here is actually a small trophy that is used to represent the ladder. This is a fun little trophy. It is a Play Cup, P-L-A-A-Y, presented to David Little in recognition of completion of the best team I ever saw tournament history maker baseball. So yeah, back in the day, Keith Avalone would give out these little cups as just to commemorate anybody who finished a complete project using a play game. And so I have found that this is the perfect tool to represent the ladder in the ladder match. When it's laying down, the ladder's down. When it's standing up, the ladder's up. And we'll see what happens. 6 men will enter this match. And the first to climb the ladder and capture the contract above the ring will get a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And we'll bring various tables and charts in along the way. We've got a climbing the ladder. We've got a setting up the ladder chart. We've got a climbing the ladder chart. Otherwise, this runs kind of like a battle royal where there will be 2 men in the ring, and depending on what happens to them, they can either defeat one another and get a chance at the ladder, or the action will fizzle and 2 more men will come into focus. Once the first man gets a hold of the ladder, he goes to the set up the ladder chart. And once the ladder is set up, he goes to the climbing the ladder chart. And if the ladder is knocked down, we also have a attack with the ladder chart. So that may come into play. Also, possibilities coming into play would be tables, ladders, and chairs. So anything can happen in a match of this magnitude. So we will shuffle them up, and we will determine who the first 2 men are. Let's introduce our competitors. By the way, I have 3 territories, as you know, of men's wrestlers. The Pro Wrestling Mid-America, which runs Texas and the old AWA territories. I have the Atlantic Wrestling Federation, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, the Southeast. And I have Patriot Championship Wrestling up in the Northeast. And from each of those territories, 2 men have been chosen. And just sheerly by coincidence, one is a babyface and one is a heel. So let's introduce the competitors. First from, we'll start with Pro Wrestling Mid-America. We have Arn Anderson and Dan Severn. From the Atlantic Wrestling Federation, we have Paul Orndorff and KENTA. And from Patriot Championship Wrestling, we have Bob Backlund and Kevin Sullivan. So these are your 6 competitors. And as the ring is being prepared for the match to begin, we have an announcement from Frank Wainscott. Dave, on May 24th, Harley Race will defend the NWA World Championship against Lou Thez in a much-anticipated rematch. Thank you, Frank, for sharing that with us. We will look forward to hearing those results. All right, starting things off, it is going to be Kevin Sullivan in the ring against KENTA. So heel versus heel to start things off here, but there's no real alignment here. There's no loyalty here. And it is going to be Kevin Sullivan on the attack with a series of karate thrusts. He follows that up with a big knee lift, and KENTA goes down. KENTA goes down on that big knee lift, and that's going to give Kevin Sullivan the chance to get started on some damage here. Kevin Sullivan is going to pick up a table, and he sets up a table and power bombs KENTA through the table, and that is going to cost KENTA a point of fatigue, which will come into play in the event of a save opportunity. Everybody has the opportunity to stop a man from going up the ladder, and that success is determined in part by your fatigue tokens accumulated. So KENTA has taken the first point of fatigue after being power bombed through a table, and Sullivan, now keeping on the attack, is going to hit KENTA with a pile driver, and that's going to add another point to KENTA, and it is going to give Kevin Sullivan the early opportunity to set up the ladder. So KENTA is down and out for the moment. Sullivan in the ring, brings the ladder into the ring, and somebody is going to try and take it from him. And that somebody is going to be Bob Backlund. So Bob Backlund coming in the ring to try and snatch the ladder away from Kevin Sullivan. And it will be Bob Backlund successfully snatching the ladder away from Kevin Sullivan. Bob Backlund now, he's got his hands on the ladder. What's he going to do? Bob Backlund on a roll of 6 smashes the opponent in the face with the ladder. So Kevin Sullivan has just been smashed in the face by Bob Backlund with the ladder. And that is going to put Kevin Sullivan out of action. And now it's Backlund with the opportunity to set up the ladder. What is Backlund going to do? On a roll of 6, he tries to set up the ladder, but he gets attacked, and the ladder falls back down to the mat. So the ladder is down, and now coming into play, we have Paul Orndorff, who has dispossessed Bob Backlund of the ladder. And Orndorff now is going to go up for a death jump against Bob Backlund. And on a roll of 11, he nails that death jump on Backlund, and Backlund is down. And that's going to give Orndorff a chance to do something here. Orndorff picks up the ladder, and on a roll of 3, it is going to be the next man up, Arn Anderson, drop kicking the ladder right into the face of Paul Orndorff. The ladder goes down. Orndorff goes down and out of the ring. And Anderson now has Dan Severn to deal with. As the ladder tumbles away, it is Severn and Anderson doing battle. And it is going to be Severn who gets control. And Severn with a series of forearm uppercuts. Follows that up with an attempt at a gut wrench suplex. This is a choice F maneuver. So he'll need 7 or lower to hit that. And on a roll of 7, he connects. And Arn Anderson gets slowly to his feet. Severn stays on him. He's going to try that move again. This time Anderson ducks away, and the remaining competitors return to the ring. So we are back to action here. And it is going to be this time Arn Anderson still in the ring battling now against Kevin Sullivan. And certainly note these two have a history. Anderson now and Sullivan battling it out. And now it is going to be Kevin Sullivan on the attack against Arn Anderson with a series of karate thrusts. Anderson goes down as he connected with one right to the throat. And Kevin Sullivan is going to pitch Arn Anderson out of the ring and out of contention. And that's going to give Sullivan a chance at picking up the ladder. And now he's got a challenge coming to him from KENTA, who's back in the ring. Gosh, it's all the heels having all the fun here in this round. And both of these men have already taken damage, but it is going to be KENTA who takes control of the ladder. And KENTA now has a chance to do some damage with the ladder. And on a roll of 5, he picks it up and throws it down onto Kevin Sullivan. So Kevin Sullivan is hurt. And he is out of commission for the rest of this round as in comes Dan Severn. KENTA and Dan Severn now battling over the ladder. Severn gets the first shot in with a forearm uppercut. And that knocks KENTA down to his keister. Severn now with a chance to do some damage here. And he pitches KENTA out of the ring. Now Severn is going to bring the ladder into the chart and set it up successfully. So Severn has been able to set up the ladder. Can he climb the ladder? On a roll of 6, he is attempting to climb the ladder, but he is going to be pulled off of the ladder by Paul Orndorff. Orndorff pulls Severn off the ladder. Does the ladder fall on even? The ladder is up, and on odd the ladder, let's see, odd up. No, even up and odd down. So the ladder falls down, and now it is Orndorff and Severn doing battle. Severn, after getting the ladder snatched away from him, takes Orndorff down to the canvas and catches him into a knee bar, a power move, a submission move. That's not going to do much good in this situation. And as Orndorff struggles to his feet, Severn whips him into the turnbuckle. And coming off the turnbuckle, Paul Orndorff eats a massive neck-breaking clothesline. Orndorff is down, and now SEVERN with a chance to get involved with a table or a chair. It's going to be a table, and on a roll of 6, it is SEVERN trying to put Orndorff through a table, but Orndorff slips away and kicks out, and Orndorff drops Dan SEVERN with a DDT. That puts Orndorff now in control. He is going to go up for a death jump. And on the death jump roll, it is Orndorff who nails Dan SEVERN with a big double axe handle blow. Orndorff now picks up a chair. And it is going to be a battle for the chair. And Orndorff snatches the chair and wallops Dan SEVERN with the chair. That's going to put SEVERN out of action. Now it is Orndorff going for the ladder. Only Bob Backlund stands in his way. Orndorff on the attack against Bob Backlund. Takes him down to the mat with a single leg takedown. And now a big vertical suplex puts Backlund down. Orndorff picks up a chair and attacks with the chair. Backlund tries to defend himself, and it is Backlund who snatches away the chair. And Backlund takes a swing, but Orndorff drop kicks the chair, and it smashes into the face of Bob Backlund. So Bob Backlund now has taken a point there, as Orndorff now has a chance to set up the ladder. And on a roll of 4, Orndorff picks up the ladder, and into the ring comes KENTA, who drop kicks the ladder and knocks the ladder down and knocks Orndorff down. And Orndorff is going to take a nasty gash to the head from that one. And we're going right back to where we started from, with all the men back to their feet and back in the ring. It's going to be Arn Anderson now and KENTA going at it. Arn Anderson versus KENTA here. And it is going to be KENTA on the attack with a triangle choke, taking Arn Anderson down, nearly choking the life out of him. KENTA is coming at Double A with a chair, but on a roll of 3, it is Arn Anderson who kicks the chair and smashes it into the face of KENTA. KENTA now busted open. Arn Anderson with a chance to set up the ladder. And on a roll of 8, on these ladder charts, higher is better. And now we have got a new challenger in the ring, and that is going to be Kevin Sullivan again, trying to prevent Arn Anderson from setting up the table. And they go to the battle for the ladder, and Arn Anderson takes the ladder away. And now Arn Anderson on a roll of 8 is able to set up the ladder. The ladder has been set up. Arn Anderson has snatched the ladder away from Kevin Sullivan. Can he climb the ladder? He is halfway up on a roll of 6. When into the fray comes Dan SEVERN, who knocks Arn Anderson off the ladder. The ladder again goes down, and the action will continue, as it is going to be Arn Anderson with an arm drag on Dan SEVERN and another arm drag on Dan SEVERN. SEVERN gets to his feet, and now Arn Anderson nails him with a one-arm DDT down to the canvas, and SEVERN is hurt. Can Anderson do damage to SEVERN here with a table? On a roll of 6, it is SEVERN who slips away from the table, and the action now shifts to Bob Backlund and Paul Orndorff in the center of the ring. Backlund comes at Orndorff with a big drop kick that takes Orndorff back to the ropes. Backlund follows that up with a whip to the turnbuckle, but coming off the turnbuckle, it is Paul Orndorff who lifts a knee to the head of Bob Backlund and stuns him. Orndorff follows that up with a whip into the ropes. Coming off the ropes is Backlund, and it is Orndorff who knocks Backlund down to his feet once again, down to his keister once again, and now a big vertical suplex puts Backlund down. Orndorff goes for a chair. Orndorff wails on Bob Backlund with that chair, and both wrestlers now tumble out of the ring, and we start all over again. So action continues here. as it is going to be Bob Backlund getting back into the ring very quickly to be met by Dan Severn. Backlund and Severn now squaring off. Severn on the offensive. Severn with a double leg slam. Backlund gets back to his feet. Severn with a fireman's carry. Backlund blocks that, and Backlund comes back with a drop kick, and Severn ducks out of the way of the drop kick. Action continues with Kenta and Arn Anderson now. And it is going to be Kenta on the offensive against Arn Anderson with a triangle choke once again. Arn Anderson goes down. Kenta is going to try for a chair shot and on a roll of 8. Arn Anderson takes a attempt to grab the chair. Kenta kicks him in the stomach, doubles him over, and Kenta smacks Arn Anderson across the back with the chair. And Arn Anderson now goes down. Can Kenta get to the ladder and set up the ladder? The ladder roll is 6. And Kenta is going to be attacked trying to set up the ladder by Kevin Sullivan. Kenta and Sullivan going at it. And Sullivan now on the offensive with tying Kenta up into the ropes. And Kenta now is stuck. And Kenta is stuck in the ropes. And Sullivan now has a chance to set up the ladder. And on the roll of 9, the ladder has been set up. Kevin Sullivan points to the sky. Kevin Sullivan climbs the ladder. He gets halfway up. Paul Orndorff meets him. They're battling it out on the top of the ladder. Sullivan continues to try and get to the top. And on a roll of 7, it is Sullivan who kicks Orndorff in the gut and knocks Orndorff down a peg. Sullivan tries to climb. He gets another step closer. He is right up to the top. Can Orndorff stop him? No, Orndorff cannot stop him, and Kevin Sullivan has made it to the top of the ladder. The chances for the stop there were 10, minus a cage rating of 3, minus 2 points of fatigue on Orndorff. So Orndorff needed 5 or lower to stop Sullivan, and on a roll of 8, Kevin Sullivan has climbed to the top of the ladder and captured the title shot at the next pay-per-view. So Kevin Sullivan comes out of there as your winner, kicking Paul Orndorff aside at the last moment and getting to the top of the ladder to claim victory. So congratulations to your 2026 ladder match winner, Kevin Sullivan. All right, so we have Jeff Stafford in the ring with us. And we've got some more announcements from around the community. Neely Bob, Rene Goulet is the new Memorial Champion, so congratulations to Rene Goulet. Frank Wainscott, also on the 24th, Jack Briscoe faces the Masked Superstar for the vacant NWA United States title. Butcher Memorial Interpromotional Champion Bob Orton Sr. sits ringside. And Bear 805 has joined us. All right. We are now ready for tonight's two World Championship matches. Ladies and gentlemen, your next contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This match is for the Heartland Ladies Championship. Introducing first the challenger. She stands at 5'7" and weighs 142 pounds from Sacramento, California. This is Nicole Savoy. And her opponent is your reigning and defending Heartland Ladies Champion out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Standing at 5'3", weighing 122 pounds, this is Portia PEREZ. So Portia PEREZ, a surprise champion to many, myself included. But she has defended that title by hook or by crook. She's been known to call on her Canadian Ninja partner and best friend, Nicole Matthews, for assistance in given situations. But the last time we saw Portia in the steel cage against Jordan Grace, she came out victorious. And somehow, by virtue of a super kick that sent Jordan Grace careening face first into the side of the cage, followed by a fold-up pin using the ropes, Portia Perez came out of that steel cage with her title intact. And now Nicole SAVOY has climbed to the top of the ranks as your next #1 contender here tonight in Cincinnati. Heels rule, baby. Jeff Stafford, we know Jeff is here, and we know Jeff is going to have Portia Perez front and center in his attention as the clear and obvious heel in tonight's Ladies Heavyweight Championship match. But it will be Portia Perez starting things off on the offensive with multiple punches to the midsection. Nicole SAVOY, an MMA participant and a striker in her own right, isn't going to be fazed by those punches, and instead she tries to take Portia down into a cross armbar, but Portia, with her quickness, is able to escape that, and both ladies are back to their feet. They come together in the center of the ring, and now it's a kick to the midsection from Portia that doubles Nicole over, and Portia follows that up with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Nicole SAVOY, but on a roll of 5, that's a running shoulder tackle, and Nicole gets the advantage by knocking Portia down to the mat. Nicole is now in control with a big butterfly suplex up, over, and down to the canvas hard. And immediately Portia Perez rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. This is where Portia loves to play. But Nicole is not afraid to get out there and mix it up. And on a roll of 3, it is Portia Perez winning the brawl on the arena floor with a cannonball off of the ring apron. Nicole SAVOY goes down in a heap on the concrete. Portia first to her feet. And we're going to have more out of the ring action here. It's not going to be shenanigans yet, but Portia's going to get a few more licks in with an Irish whip into the ring steps before the referee forces this match back into the ring. Portia in the ring and in control with a divorce cord down onto the shoulder of Nicole SAVOY. Portia coming right back at her with a submission hold, a front face lock, taking Nicole down to the canvas. Nicole fighting her way up to her knees. Portia still on the offensive, just goes right to a rake of the eyes. And that is nasty. Portia Perez, as we said, will do anything to keep hold of this title, and now it is a blatant chokehold applied by Portia Perez. Nicole's feet kicking wildly as Portia applies the chokehold to the count of 4 before breaking. And now Portia in control. As Nicole gets to her feet, Portia just drops her right off the stick with a jawbreaker. And down goes Nicole SAVOY. Portia is now on level 3 offense, and on a roll of 6, that's a big super kick. The pin roll here is 3, and on a roll of 4, Nicole barely kicked out after that super kick. Portia hitting that super kick out of nowhere. That is a dangerous weapon indeed. And now the divorce cord down onto the shoulder once again, and Nicole is down. And if Portia takes out your shoulder, that makes it much more difficult to defend against that super kick that comes in out of nowhere. And now it is Portia taking the action out of the ring again. And this time on a roll of 7, Portia again wins the brawl and slams the head of Nicole SAVOY into the ring apron. Another nasty move there by Portia. And now it is going to be shenanigans on the arena floor, brought to you by Portia Perez. What has Portia got up her sleeve now? Portia has got a foreign object up her sleeve. To the surprise of no one, Portia reaches into the trunks and pulls out a steel chain. The steel chain is in play here, and it is Portia wailing on Nicole SAVOY with the steel chain. We will not see a disqualification here, as Nicole is slugged by that steel chain, and that's going to cost her another point of fatigue. Back into the ring we go, and now it is Portia going to go up for a death jump. Portia going to the air, A very agile wrestler is Portia Perez, and on a roll of 10, it is the agility struggle, and Portia will prevail on the agility struggle, kicking Nicole off of the top and back down to the mat. And now the face lock applied again, as Portia has a secret chokehold there. Nicole getting to her knees. Portia stays on her now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Here comes Nicole Savoy off the turnbuckle, and on a roll of 7, it is a big kick from Portia that stuns Nicole. Portia stays on the offensive now with a whip to the ropes. Nicole Savoy coming off the ropes, and on a roll of 9, that is the power roll. Nicole Savoy does have the power advantage, so she knocks Portia down to the canvas, and Nicole now is in control and going to work on Portia with some leg kicks. She just took the legs right out from under Portia. What's Nicole going to do here? She is going to go up for a death jump of her own. Portia, the more agile of the two ladies, so there's an element of danger here, but Nicole does manage to come off the top rope with a missile drop kick that puts Portia back down onto the canvas. Nicole back in charge here, dragon suplex. That's a finisher. The pin roll here is 4, and on a roll of 11, Portia quickly able to kick out. Portia Perez kicking out, but Nicole Savoy back in control, and now the SAVOY lock has been applied. This is a 0 finisher submission hold. The submission roll here is 4 or lower, and on a roll of 7, I don't think anybody thought Portia was going to give it up there. But both these ladies now showing signs of fatigue. Nicole in control. Nicole going to go for a Texas Cloverleaf. This is a choice F maneuver. So she is going to need a roll of 10 or lower to complete that. And on a roll of 6, the Texas Cloverleaf has been applied. Portia is potentially going to tap out here on a roll of 5 or lower, but on a roll of 11, Portia makes her way to the bottom rope, and the hold is forced to be broken. And now there seems to be some sort of a commotion at ringside as Nicole Matthews has come to the ring to provide some outside interference. Outside interference from Nicole Matthews. And on a roll of 2, it is Nicole attacking Nicole Savoy from behind. And a deadly specialty move is applied. It's the Funky Cold Medina, the tag team maneuver. Will there be a disqualification here? Yes, potentially. And on a roll of 8, there is a disqualification. Portia Perez has been disqualified for outside interference from Nicole Matthews. Nicole Savoy is down. And the referee immediately comes to the aid of Nicole Savoy. And out of the back, we've got another person coming down the ring. It is Mercedes Martinez, former tag team partner of Nicole Savoy, coming out to protect Nicole from an attack by the Canadian Ninjas. So now it is Portia Perez and Nicole Matthews facing off against Savoy and Martinez. The match is over. Portia is your loser by disqualification, but she still maintains her control of the Heartland Ladies Championship by way of being disqualified. The title cannot change hands on a disqualification. Nicole Savoy had it going there for a minute. She got hit by a chain. She came back with a death jump and a nice rally. Nicole Matthews came out and got her partner disqualified, and that is where the story ends for Cincinnati. But this story ain't over by a long shot. I think our next match is going to be a grudge tag team match with Nicole Savoy and Mercedes Martinez taking on the Canadian Ninjas team of Portia Perez and Nicole Matthews. All right, big event there. Got some more announcements in the chat room. Frank Wainscott in his ROH-fed Adam Cole baby challenges Ring of Honor World Champion Kevin Steen at Honor the Heroes Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, Kevin Steen collecting belts all over the place as he holds the NWA World Championship here in the Heartland, at least for now, and the Ring of Honor World Championship assigned by Frank Wainscott. Announcement from Jeff Stafford. Great North Wrestling will hold its first ever ladies match at its Memorial Mayhem pay-per-view Memorial Day weekend. Participants to be announced on the next Great North Wrestling update with Mean Gene. All right, quick drink of diet root beer here to freshen the pipes, and we'll be ready for tonight's main event. Ladies and gentlemen, your following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This match is for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger. He is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He hails from Camden, New Jersey, standing at 6'1", weighing 227 pounds. This is Buddy Rogers. And his opponent is your reigning and defending NWA World Heavyweight Champion out of Marieville, Quebec, Canada, standing at 5'11", weighing 255 pounds. This is wrestling's worst nightmare, Kevin Steen. So Kevin Steen, Buddy Rogers. Last time these two met, it was Steen getting the victory to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Buddy Rogers able to earn his way back into contention with a victory over the upstart Eric Young to gain this match here tonight in Cincinnati, with the title once again on the line. The two men come together in the center of the ring. There ain't no handshaking. It's just a glare from one man to the other, and it will be Buddy Rogers taking the opening initiative role in this one. Steen should save himself the embarrassment and give Rogers the belt. Wow. Strong words from Jeff Stafford here at ringside. Shots fired as Buddy Rogers comes out with an attempt at a flying head scissors. This is a choice C maneuver, and my charts are all over the place now. Choice C maneuver. He will need a roll of 7 or lower to hit this. And on a roll of 2, he nails the flying head scissors. And Kevin Steen slowly getting to his feet. Buddy Rogers is on him now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Kevin Steen, and on a roll of 10, the better turnbuckle rating wins. That belongs to Buddy Rogers. So Buddy Rogers nails a big drop kick to Kevin Steen as Steen comes off the turnbuckle. Buddy Rogers back in control. And right away he goes to the figure 4 grapevine, just like that. The submission roll here, 5 or lower, and on a roll of 4, he got it. So just like that, Kevin Steen loses the NWA World Heavyweight Championship to Buddy Rogers. It was a whip to the turnbuckle, a big drop kick, and a figure 4 grapevine. Kevin Steen complaining to the referee about anything and everything. He was distracted by Jeff Stafford at ringside. He was still recovering from his injuries that he suffered wrestling in Velvet Wrestling when Jerry Lawler hit him with a fireball. He wasn't ready. His tux was late. An old friend came to town. He ran out of gas. He ran out of excuses. And Buddy Rogers is now your new NWA World Heavyweight Champion tonight in Cincinnati. All right, thank you to everybody for joining us. A couple of announcements from the Heartland. Between my work schedule and some vacation time, I am going to be out of town actually 3 of the next 4 weeks. So there's not going to be a lot of Heartland Championship Wrestling action happening. So we will not be on the channel next week. I may try and jump on and do a little highlight reel or something, but there won't be any, I don't anticipate any live matches on the air next weekend, as I will just be getting back from my work trip late on Saturday night. So yeah, but we will be active on the boards. I'll be in Newfoundland, Canada, Not as exciting as it sounds. It is a work assignment. So my Newfoundland experience will consist of an airport, a rental car, a hotel room, and a hospital, and not a lot of sightseeing. So yeah, this week will be a tough one coming up. But then some vacation time, including Digital to Dice Con 26. I'll be spending the weekend, I believe, of May the 14th or thereabouts in Connecticut with Dave Gardner and Mike Canistrari and the whole Digital to Dice crew. That is the vacation time that I am really looking forward to the most. Love Dave Gardner, love the sports gaming community. I may try and get some Heartland wrestling action or some Filsinger Games wrestling action going at Digital to Dice Con. And if so, I will give you a full report. But yeah, thank you to everybody who has tuned in tonight. I will be back on the channel in a few weeks. Jeff Stafford, Frank Wayne Scott, Neil Lau, Grant Bachoco, the solo promoter, Bear805, Dwayne March, Derek Bauman. And I believe that catches everybody who was here with us tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. That's our stream, and I am out of here.